Welcome to the Be Ruthless Show, where we have the conversations that other people don't, the conversations that other people won't. I'm your host, Sam Ruth, and I'm ready to make a lot of noise and disrupt things, ruthlessly. Thanks for being here today. Now let's get to it. Welcome back to the Be Ruthless Show. We are in the middle of another winter storm here in Colorado after I just had my top down the past couple of days driving. That's what you get in Colorado. What is the weather like by you? Thank you so much. If you have already gotten your copy of Dear Younger Self on Amazon, we are #1 bestsellers, and you can still get your copy if you haven't. Appreciate the love so much. It's a really, really special book, and I can't wait for the world to read it. I had planned to talk today after a holiday weekend, after President's Day, of much more violence and death again on a holiday weekend, but I have been going through it myself and want to talk a little bit about what's going on and the full circle stuff that I have just realized is going on in my world. So 4 years ago, well, let's start with, I had back surgery, major back surgery, a month before Jim passed away. I was in a car accident 8 days before our wedding, and they saw back damage and problems then. I didn't feel the pain at that point in time. I started having problems a couple years later, and 2016, when we were in Michigan for Thanksgiving, I was uncomfortable and went to the doctor, and things progressed, and I had back surgery a month before he passed away at the end. So November of 2017, I had surgery. He passed away December of 2017. And all of 2017, I was consumed with my back. It was miserable. I waited way too long. I tolerated the pain. I don't know what I thought. I guess I just thought you dealt with it. I don't know. I really hadn't had too many injuries in my life. I hurt my knee skiing when I was young. And that's pretty much it, honestly. I've been I'm a klutz, but I've been pretty injury-free other than that. So I just dealt with it and was unhappy and uncomfortable. And woke up after surgery, and Jim would tell you and told the world I was the happiest person. Thanked the nurses, thanked the doctors, thanked the strangers, thanked everyone, invited them all to my 45th birthday, which was 11 months away, because I hadn't gotten to have a 44th because I was in agony and awaiting surgery. I knew, even though my back was cut open and I had a long road of recovery ahead of me, I could already tell the major pain was gone. And I was so happy, and we were planning trips, and we were planning concerts, and we were just planning again. Our life had been on hold. And then he passed away unexpectedly a month later. So 2018, I was just grieving and lost and surviving and taking care of my back and taking care of Sassy. Essentially, that's what it was. Taking care of my back and taking care of Sassy. And I was taking care of my back because Jim would have killed me if we went through everything we went through, and I didn't. Basically, that was what I was doing, and I didn't know why. Simply because I had to. And then on my trip to the mountains for our wedding anniversary, I stumbled upon somebody in Jack Canfield's community, and I then started working with him, met Kate Butler, and 4 years ago to the day, yesterday, I got on a plane and I went to Nashville for a retreat to meet some of these women. So 4 years ago to this day, I met them in person. I met Kate Butler in person 4 years ago, and Donna, my dear friend, who is also in this book. And yesterday I had a tough day. I got some bad news about my back, and I'm like thinking my life has come full circle from 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I'm sitting, we're talking, I'm writing my book that's coming out in a few months. At that point in time, it had a different name, a different title, but I'm lost. Like, I don't know why I'm there at that point. I didn't want to return to psychology. I didn't want to work with clients. I certainly didn't know I'd have this podcast. I had no clue Grief Hab would be born. I was searching, right? Now I know I was searching for them. Like these would become my sisters and my family. And like the purpose was to meet these people and to continue writing. And I was on my way. Right. And lo and behold, Redefining Ruthless will be out in a few months, and Dear Younger Self is out today. But now here I am dealing with my back again. And yesterday I'm thinking to myself, this was hard enough with Jim. How am I going to do this without him? Like, I don't want to go through this again. I was doing anything 5 years ago to avoid surgery. I don't want this. This isn't fun. So it's just crazy to think about all that has happened in these 5 years without him, but certainly in these last 4, and where I am today. And of course, I'll take care of my back and I'll get through it. I don't have a choice. I've taken care of life without him. I don't have a choice. People say you're so strong. I don't have a choice, right? And it's just crazy to think that I'm in a lot of pain now, and I'm being so much more proactive, right? I mean, I must be at like a 3, because 4 or 5 years ago, I waited. I didn't deal with it until I literally was in agony, and nothing worked then. So hopefully what I'm doing now will work, and surgery will not be necessary, or it will be years away. You know, these are the things I don't know yet, but it just blew my mind coming home from the doctor yesterday. First, I called my dad and said, please be my dad, don't be my doctor, and had a good cry. And then I wanted to talk, you know, to Donna, who I didn't even know when I was going through this, and who Jim doesn't know. You know, I know he's with me and he knows of her, but she wasn't even in my world. So I wanted to share all of this because I know there are people out there in pain. And I know that so many people in this world say to suck it up and to stick it out. And I disagree. I believe that we are taught so many of the wrong things. And the earlier you deal with something, the more likely we have many more options and many more solutions available to us. So, you know, yes, do I have to have a ton more appointments? And is it a pain in my back and my butt? Sure. But if I wait and just, you know, try numbing with medication or doing this or doing that, other things that could help now might not work. One of the co-authors so beautifully gave me virtual Reiki yesterday. And, you know, when you're hurting, you'll try anything. I put technology away. I laid on a heating pad. I snuggled with my pups. I had a good cry. You know, I listened to my body. It doesn't matter that the world goes a million miles a minute and there are a ton of things we could always be doing. I'm in pain. And sometimes that has to come first. And it's going to be needles in my back. And I don't want to know how big they are. I'm already doing acupuncture and physical therapy and all of these things, epidurals. I don't want to know. I never let Jim tell me when I got them before. They didn't work 5 years ago because I waited too long. Hopefully this time they will, but no one ruin this surprise. Okay. No one tell me. I would get immediately on the table, head down, and he was not allowed to tell me how big the needle was because I wouldn't go. I am a baby. I am a chicken. But think of like, at least he was there, right? At least he was there to squeeze his arm and have a big bear hug. It's just these moments. These are the moments that the world doesn't see and doesn't understand. You guys know, of course, a holiday or a birthday when someone you've lost isn't here. Everybody gets that. But you don't necessarily understand that a doctor's appointment without him can be so, so emotional. Or a book launch, which is supposed to be the most exciting day. So I just think it's important to take the time and point it out, because otherwise people won't understand, and all you see is the outside, which looks fine. And even when we cry, right, the tears go away and we look fine. And I want people to know that it is impossible without him. And I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't know. I figure it out because I have to. I don't want to. I have no other choice. And I'm in Fort Collins because his organ recipient, who I am so fortunate to have in my life, and her family are here. And I'm so grateful that they'll be here if I have to have these things done, but that's still not the same as having him. And no matter how many friends and amazing family I have, it's not the same. And I want people to understand that, because you show up and you're there for people, and then life goes on. And so many people lose someone and our life doesn't go back on. We have to go through, we have to move forward. But there are so many difficult moments that still happen. And I reach out to my people who are here for me 1,000,000%. But I just want other people, it's not to make anyone feel bad. I just want people to know that that there are people in your life struggling, that you don't think to ask, hey, how'd that doctor's appointment go? Or do you need someone to go with you? Can I go with you? We have 1,000,000 things that are impossible, and we can't ask you to go to every single appointment with us. There's just too many, right? So I'm pointing it out just so that you're more aware, and maybe check in or send an I'm thinking of you card, or little things to let the people you love know you're thinking of them, because I know you love them. And I know it's not intentional. You're busy. I totally get it. Life is busy and it happens. And I just want you to recognize that there's so many of these things that happen every single day. And I want you to stop and just take a minute to give that extra hug, to make that extra call, to say that extra I love you. And it means the world. My dad took the time. I talked to him yesterday morning, and he took the time at the end of the day just to send an extra text, just because he knows how hard it is without Jim. It can't magically make my back hurt less, but it means the world, because he knows that if I'm saying it's hard, that means it's 10 times harder, because there's 1,000,000 days it's hard and I don't say anything, right? So if someone is saying I'm struggling, they're really hurting. We're hurting every day, right? So the times we tell you, it means something. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, because I have people who are telling me they don't want to use their grief as an excuse. They don't want, and I hear this with my clients who are struggling with alcohol as well. And I want you to know that people do not use alcohol or mental illness or grief as an excuse. People pretend they're okay when they're not. People do not pretend they're not okay when they are. I'm going to say that again. People pretend they are okay when they're not. They do not pretend they're not okay when they are. So if someone is telling you they're not okay, don't stop and wonder if it's just for attention, or if they're, is this a cry for help? Or if somebody is asking for help or telling you that they need you, they need you. More often than not, people stay silent when they need you. If they are saying something, listen, they need you. Thank you so much for being a part of this community. If you haven't yet, you can grab your copy of Dear Younger Self on Amazon. And if you are listening live, Team Ruthless weekly support group is tonight. It is every Wednesday night at 6:00 Mountain Time. You can join us or reach out to me directly. I don't just throw people into a random group, by the way. I will match you with people that have something in common with you, people who have been through something similar or who are going through something similar as you, so that you can connect with people who get it. And when I first lost Jim, I needed people who were further along so that they could help me understand that I was going to get through it. So I will match you with people that are a good fit. Since all the chaos in East Lansing at Michigan State, I have added a group for anxiety, PTSD type of issues, and there are always student rates available. Please reach out, sam@samantharuth.com, or look for the link in the show notes if you're interested. And thank you so much for being a part of the community. Until next time, always be ruthless. Thanks so much for listening today. Your support means everything to me, truly. If this podcast resonates with you, please do me a favor and join in the Ruthless movement by making some noise and doing one of these 4 things. Subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Tell a friend so we can break stigmas even faster. Leave a review so people can see what you think of the show. And last, if you want to learn more about me and be a part of the Grief Hab community, please head on over to the Facebook group. We'd love to have you. Thanks again for spending your time with us, and see you next week.